All right, so in this one, we are going to update our a query set or a whole group of matches based off of this instance method of check update. So to do this, we're going to use our model manager, and we're going to define, we're going to call it match update or update all. And then we don't need to take in anything other than self. And so this is actually going to be updating all of the matches that are available. This is on the entire database, but we don't want to do every match available. We want to stick with that same time zone stuff. So for now, I'll just say query set is equal to self.all. So this is getting an entire query set. And from here, I want to actually filter this down. So query set.filter, and we're going to do updated is greater than or some time here. So we'll just, I'm going to say offset 2 for now. And then it's also less than, updated is also less than or equal to another offset, so offset 1. All right, so GT stands for greater than, and then if you add an E at the end, greater than or equal to, and then LE stands for less than or equal to, and using those two underscores can do that comparison. And this is a nice Django filter that's built in to get a time area. So we'll do now equals to time zone dot now, just like what we did below, and I'll even copy below, and we'll set this offset to offset, and then offset 2 is going to be equal to something similar, but instead of 12 hours, I'll do, let's say, 36 hours. So we're going to update everything that may have changed in a 24-hour period in any form or fashion. Now, again, this all relies on us actually saving or making changes to this match on some form, right? So if they answered more questions than it would do it, then the match will actually change. But we're going off of the timestamp of when this match was most recently updated. So it has nothing to do with the algorithm or whether or not those things have changed or anything has changed. It's going to run it no matter what, based off of this time difference. So now that we have this, we can actually test it out, but it's going to be a little difficult to test it because of the time that we actually set. So I'm going to change this to seconds. Hours doesn't really matter. It just means that it has to be before 12 seconds ago, basically. And I'm going to do that same thing with check updates. I'll do the same thing down here. And then lastly, we have this query set now, so we can say for I in query set, we can actually go to I dot, and then we'll do check update. So an instance method of check update. So now it's going to go through all of them that are actually there, and we can actually print out the query set here to see all of these different ones. And let's go ahead and try this out. So let's jump into the Python shell, and we'll do, clear this out, Python manage.py shell from matches.models, import match, and we'll do, first off, we'll do match.objects.all, so we can see that we have at least a match in there. Granted, it does not match very well, or they don't have matching things at all. But let's go ahead and do update all now. So all I need to do here is do match.objects.update all, press enter, and it actually runs this update. Right? So if I actually waited 12 more seconds, it's going to run it again. And granted, if it was hours, then it would do that too. And with this 36 hours, the reason I have that is so it doesn't go too far in the past, because there might be a lot of matches. I mean, if you have millions of people, this time frame might want to change even more drastically. In fact, if you had millions of people, you'd probably want to do this quite a bit differently. But for us, we will worry about that once we get to 1 million people. So 12 seconds probably went by, so I'm going to go ahead and update it. And sure enough, it did. And then if I had updated all, it'll say already updated. Perfect. That's actually what we do want to see. So now that we have this, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this print query set here, and I'm going to change everything back to hours. So now this update will actually work in the form that we want it to. So this call is very simple. If there's nothing here, or, well, it's going to run through whatever is there. We could also put it in if statement. So if query set is greater than, or query set.count is greater than 0, then we would run this. Right? So if there's actually stuff in the query set, then we'll actually iterate through the query set. So there's that. And that's it. That's all we really need to worry about as far as updating all of them. Now, there's probably a more efficient way to do all this, but for our purposes, this works out very well until we have to actually really make some significant changes to the backend and also how we update all of them. Because you don't have to do it just this way, right? There could be regular intervals that you set using a scheduler or a cron job or something of the sort, where basically we set certain intervals to just say every 12 hours run the update, no matter what, regardless of when the last update was done. So just run the update every 12 hours. That is another thing, what you could do, which is basically running do match every time versus check update. And in this case, it's saying check update. It's not really necessary for us to run the time both times, right? So we, like, if in this case, it's definitely going to be in that query set. But at any other point, we might want to use the check update. It would make sense to just say go with check update, which is the same as all this stuff. So, and for some reason we actually got this stuff. Well, it wouldn't be in the query set anyway, but we would want to actually check and make sure that these things are all working. All right, so if you have any questions on this, let us know. Otherwise, let's keep going.